Estimated 4,200 cases involving murdered and indigenous persons are unsolved nationwide. That's coming from the U.S. Bureau of Indian Affairs.
But who investigates them? In tonight's Outcry, Leah Chavez explains the complicated answer with so many unsolved cases.
I think when we talk about jurisdiction, especially in a state like New Mexico, it's super complicated.
Darlene Gomez is an attorney working to help solve and bring attention to missing and murdered indigenous peoples cases.
So we have tribes, we have pueblos, and we have nations. But the Navajo Nation by far is the largest tribe. They say that the Navajo Nation is the size of West Virginia. If there is a call about a missing person on the Navajo Nation, then that call goes to their dispatch center.
Depending on staffing, it could be a few hours to a number of days before they respond. Sometimes officers never even get to that call, leaving families to do their own work.
They need to be aware of this. There needs to be change. There needs to be a structure. It's broken.
Homicides are typically sent to the FBI for further investigation, but sometimes that doesn't happen. Take, for example, the Apache family who lost their son, brother, and father in January of 2021.
All we want is somebody, either from the FBI, to say, we looked at the case, there's not sufficient evidence to prosecute.
The Apache family, also being represented by Gomez, says missteps and miscommunication by first responders have caused Joey's case to fall into a limbo.
And for being ripped from this earth, have no justice to it. Heal that pain that will never go away. That's what we're fighting for.
They are just one of many families fighting for justice for their loved ones.
There's people behind those numbers. I can't imagine what families are going through.
UNM professor Samuel Winder says a crucial 1978 Supreme Court case has set a historical precedent for so many issues when it comes to solving these cases.
There was a non-Indian who committed a crime. He was driving recklessly on the reservation. He was arrested. He challenged the jurisdiction of the tribe to prosecute him.
The High Court ultimately sided with the man. It means natives cannot charge non-natives with crimes committed on native land or against native people.
Imagine for a moment in Albuquerque if the DA had no jurisdiction to prosecute a certain segment of society, or if the DA did not have jurisdiction to prosecute anyone for felonies. Of course, crime would increase. And that's what's happened in Indian country for the last 47 years.
Just one of the many reasons why we have what some people call a jurisdictional maze. But Professor Winder says there's a way things can change.
I think New Mexico is in a very unique position. First, I would address the jurisdictional issues. Tribes should have jurisdiction to prosecute everyone within their territory. Second, there has to be adequate funding from the federal government.
Winder says by shining a light on these issues, he hopes it will enact change and lead to more cases being solved. Leah Chavez, KOAT Action 7 News.
Winder believes our lawmakers should enact change to allow Native communities to investigate and prosecute cases on their own. Now, if you have a case of a missing and murdered Indigenous person you want us to look into, email us at outcry@koat.com.